life. They give everybody a trophy. That's what they did tonight. They gave a trophy, a win, a huge win to Horn, the local kid, for trying hard. You're not supposed to get it for trying hard. You're supposed to get it for winning.
What's up, fight fans? Thank you once again for tuning in. Much appreciated. Remember, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. If you're not new to the channel and you're coming back once again, thank you very, very much. All right, so a fight that has been mooted for ages, right? Ages. Nathan Cleverly, Badou Jack seems to have finally got the go-ahead. And they'll be fighting on the undercard of that nonsense in Las Vegas. So Mcgregor versus Mayweather. I don't know what to make of this fight. It's taken so long to kind of be mentioned. I think both boxers knew it was going to happen. Obviously, the fight's 2 weeks away, so for it to be announced now, obviously both boxers will be seriously training in preparation. But it couldn't get announced earlier because the mandatory for Nathan Cleverly's regular WBA light heavyweight title was Dimitri Bivol, and he didn't want to take step-aside money. I think that's kind of now been ironed out. Eddie Hearn done an interview with IFL TV saying that was the issue, and I think that's the reason it's been so long in terms of announcement. What do we make of the fight? What do we make of Nathan Cleverly first? Nathan Cleverly seems to be almost the forgotten fighter in the UK. I mean, it's not so long ago when Nathan Cleverly was, I wouldn't say a big star, but with the Joe Calzaghe retirement, he was the one that's supposed to bring big-time boxing back to Worlds, right? And that's just not happened whatsoever. Even when he was a name, even when he was, so before he got beat by Sergey Kovalev, he still couldn't really draw a crowd. And that's the reason he had to have those big fights against Tony Bellew in Liverpool. But his last 3 fights have all been away from home, or his last 2 fights anyway. From Farah away from home, Bramer away from home, and now Badou Jack away from home. Strange, I'm not quite sure what's going on with Nathan Cleverly. It's almost like, just get rid of him. That's the impression I have. That Eddie Hearn doesn't really talk about him that much. You never see interviews about him. And it's almost like, because he's not a draw, get rid of him. Because many other boxers had regular titles. Let's not forget, Scott Quigg had a regular title before he fought Carl Frampton. And he was all the talk of Eddie Hearn, right? Nathan Cleverly doesn't bring much to the table, and you barely hear his name mentioned. Badou Jack takes a step up from super middleweight to light heavyweight. Badou Jack, who last fought James DeGale in an entertaining draw, wants to add, I guess, a fresh face to light heavyweight. I feel like the light heavyweight division is a bit dull in terms of names, right? It's not great. Yes, Kovalev, Ward, Stevenson, Bertabiev. But in terms of names, in terms of money fights up there, is not a lot. I'm not going to say he's a draw, but he's a name that we know, and you know what Mayweather shows like. Mayweather trying to amp it up a bit more. It's a good fight. It's a good fight. I think a lot of people straight away will say Badou Jack beats Nathan Cleverly. It's not that easy. It's not that easy. Badou Jack, yes, Badou Jack's a big super middleweight, but I think that Nathan Cleverly's equipped himself well, especially against Fonfara. Fonfara, at the time when Nathan Cleverly fought him, was definitely a top 5 in my head, light heavyweight. And he went toe-to-toe with Fonfara. Yes, he lost, but it was a very, very good fight. Bramer, he beat controversially, really, on a stoppage. But again, equipped himself well until the stoppage. Badou Jack is a good fighter, but there are holes there. George Groves showed that. James DeGale showed that. I think it will be difficult work for both of them. I don't expect Badou Jack to run through Nathan Cleverly at all. At all. The problem for Nathan Cleverly is he's a good boxer, but he just likes to tear up. He just likes to tear up. The Fonfara fight showed you that. He just likes to tear up, and he doesn't need to do that. He can just box. Years ago, we saw him put in, I think, a very good performance against Tony Bellew. He can just box, but he seems to want to tear up, and I don't think that's what he needs. I almost feel like he's so scarred because of the Kovalev loss. He wants to show people that he can man up and fight. Doesn't need to do that. Can just box. If he boxes, it's a very, very good fight against Badou Jack. If he tries to slug it out, I think Badou Jack, although coming up from super middleweight, might just be the stronger of the two. But what do you guys make of the fight? What do you make of Nathan Cleverly? Is he the forgotten man? It's strange how some people have regular titles, and we almost, or Sky anyway, try to remove that regular from it, right? They're just world titleist. Others, like Nathan Cleverly, have world titles, and it's like, oh, you're regular champion. Strange. You can clearly see who they favour, and they do not favour Nathan Cleverly. But the card's coming quite well. I mean, look, McGregor Mayweather is almost big enough to sell itself, right? You don't need any decent undercard fights. But, I mean, Nathan Cleverly's on it against Badou Jack, with Gervonta Davis is on it, and even Sean Porter, I think, is on the card as well. I'm not quite sure who Sean Porter's fighting, but he's on the card. It could be an 8-round, it could be a 10-round, I don't know. It's obviously not a big name, but he's going to be on the card. So, decent card.